Ladies and gents, we made it through another season of Atlanta Falcons football. We finished 8-9. We beat the Saints. We put the Panthers into the playoffs. But the main thing is we're all here and we're all still breathing. Terry's gone. Raheem's gone. There's tons to cover. But first, it'd be rude not to ask the boys what they thought about our victory against the team that's a little bit over there that we don't like to mention. But boys, how are we feeling after the win? Let's do that quick first. Liam, kick us off.
Yeah, good to get the result. Scrappy game. It wasn't a pleasure to watch, really, at any point for either team. we both looked like we had end of season, nothing to play for kind of vibes. I don't know. If you didn't look quite like we were. Oh, we up for it from a rival perspective, but you could tell there was something off about the game. But somebody had to win, and we had to make sure it was us, and we just about did that in the end. Made some good plays on defense again. Obviously, that definitely won us this game, like it has done many times this season. The offense was stuttering. The run game was basically non-existent, which is something we've not really said much this season. Kirk had a mediocre time out there. But yeah, we got it over the line, and the main thing is we beat the Saints, and that adds like 100% value to the win. Beating it does. So yeah, very pleased with that.
Lovely stuff. Mark, how are you feeling? Nice little win to top off a shambolic season.
Yeah, I mean, I think as much as some years we can be a bit nonchalant about it and be like, the game means nothing, blah 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 blah. I did really want to beat them, as I always do, and as I think every Atlanta Falcon fan should. And also, I like to wipe the smiles off the Buccaneer fans' faces as well. So the fact that we managed to do that, I mean, look, guys, I think it has been confirmed that we play in the worst division, possibly that might have ever existed in the NFL. But we finished joint top, but I think we're the only team that could possibly finish joint top, but still second last. I think that just kind of sums it up. I'm glad the season's over, but always nice to sweep the Saints kind of at least give us something to smile about.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose we don't need to go into that one too much. We beat them. That's it. They did make us sweat a little bit with that onside kick at the end. I could see the headlines in front of me already. So it was nice that there was a bit of a blunder there from them, although there is only a 12% success rate. So the odds were in our favour, which usually goes against us.
That's true.
Anyway,
True.
At the start of the season, we all put in our predictions for MVP, Rookie of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year. We've been getting feedback from all of our followers and stuff today about who they put in with a shout. So let's chat through it first, and then I'll bring some of theirs in and say who we all went for as well. So we'll start with the younglings. Let's go for Rookie of the Year. I think it's probably fair to say that they pretty much all are in with a shout, as in nobody performed badly. The first three picks are all definitely debatable. Where are we all sitting? Go on, Mark. I'll let you start that one.
I think for me, it has to be James Pierce Jr. I realized that we were in a headspace where we fixed the pass rush and we fixed everything, and that obviously didn't necessarily pan out. But I think that young defensive line, turned up this season and were consistently nasty. I don't think they cost us any games, and we we left a mark on a lot of quarterbacks this year. And I think he stands out for me because there was controversy around the pick.
Yeah.
There was controversy around the player. And I think he's proved everybody wrong. And I absolutely adore that. So for me, I do not, and I know we'll come on to it, I do not agree with Liam's point of view. Well, he's just an edge rusher and that's why he's got more sacks than Walker and all of that sort of caper. I don't agree with that. But, for me, 27-0 Dylan.
We'll take that. Nice. Cal, who are you leaning with now you've seen the season?
Yeah, I think it's hard to go against, obviously, Pierce Jr., but with his, obviously, his stats and getting better throughout the season and having an edge rush, which us as 7-year fans have never seen, but I think even Danny, even Liam and Mark still haven't seen much in their lifetime of watching the Falcons. To go from having the least amount of sacks to the second most in the league is fair play to Ulbridge. Ridiculous job he's done, I think, with quite a brand new defense with 4 defensive rookies coming in and all of them performing. Obviously, Bowman getting the injury was a bit of a shitter, but he still performed when he did play. I think it's hard to go against Pierce Jr., but Watts for me has got to be inches behind him just for what he's done in that secondary. Especially when our secondary has lacked at times, especially obviously the corner part. I think that was probably where most of the yards came up, and I think Watts had an unreal season, to be fair. So I think looking at it, he was an absolute steal where we got him from. But I'll have to go with Pierce Jr. for this one.
Nice. Liam, who are you leaning towards?
Xavier Watts, just because he was my favourite pick of our draft before. And he delivered on all fronts, really. He was there's somebody that name was mentioned every single game. Like, not everything was perfect, but for a rookie, he was getting himself about, and to shine when you're sort of next to Bates is difficult. In that sort of safety tandem, because normally Bates is the one that gets mentioned all the time, but he stood out himself, and I think I did look. He ranked on the PFF grades. He ranked 19th out of 98 safeties in the whole league, which for a rookie is pretty good.
Yeah.
He just made big plays, and that's what and big plays can win you games. Those turnovers at key moments. So that for me, just like PSG obviously was excellent throughout the season. Walker had ups and downs, but mainly was consistently good. Played the role that we expected him to play, and obviously there's a couple of injuries in the others. So I just think Watts was. I thought he was going to be good. He looked like an NFL-ready safety, but he still actually performed better than I expected.
Yeah, we'll take that. Well, a little reminder in case you've all forgot. So, Cal, at the start of the season, you went with Walker. Me and Liam both went with Watts. And Mark, the Oracle, what seems to be, went with Pierce Jr., who at the time did receive 67% of the votes, to be fair. Upon following that up today and asking for favourites and everything like that, James Pierce Jr. received the most votes, with Xavier Watts literally just behind him by literally 7 or 8 votes. So it was a close tie, but I think, as we've said, the numbers for Pierce Jr. speak for themselves. We've not had anyone hit double-figure sacks for a decade. Like Cal said, we've not seen it at all. So I think that one's pretty clean and simple. I think we can give it to James Pierce Jr. with Watts sitting there just behind. But of course, you probably take into consideration where those players were picked as well. So Watts was a steal of a pick based on the fact that he wasn't a first rounder like that. I think this is going to be clean cut as well, but offensive player of the year, it might be a quicker discussion. Do I even run through it? Do we need to talk about how good Bijan Robinson is?
There's no
What
other
else?
option, is there really?
What else do you say?
Yeah.
What else do you say?
Did we do a poll for him, and did he get 100%?
We did do so at the start of the season. He received 59% of the votes, with Lindstrom getting 9%, Penix getting 20%, and Drake London getting 13%. This time, he's received 99% of the votes.
Wait, who's the 1%?
Chris Lindstrom got a singular vote, which is niche, but do you know what? I'll take it. Each to their own. People love different parts of the ball game.
Was that vote by Chris Lindstrom by the chance?
Burner account. Yeah, I think it's hard to overlook Bijan here for us, isn't it? He beat our franchise scrimmage yards. He's gone to second overall in NFL history. I think maybe third by a couple of yards. I forgot how many he got last night.
33.
Just sensational, isn't it? And he also got a 93-yard touchdown, which is our longest in franchise history. He's just getting better and better, isn't he? Every single year, he's increasing those numbers. And depending on what happens in the near future, I'd be very shocked if next season he doesn't obliterate the yard record. So I think we'll
imagine having an offensive coach that can coach as well. Incredible.
I know.
Amount of yards that he could get.
It's gonna be something, isn't it?
Well, I think he watches the show, I assume, because my one, I said criticism, it wasn't really a criticism, but my one thing that I felt was missing, not last season, but obviously the season before, was he didn't have many big hitting runs. I think he's max was 22, 25 in a single run. You know, that was kind of the only thing he was missing. And then obviously the season he goes and does multiple.
He definitely heard.
He added the final piece before, and now I can't say anything else. No.
Yeah, he finished the season with 2,293 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 112 missed tackles forced, which is just disgusting. But when you watch him, you know that's the case. I think there's a fair debate that he's the best player in the league. I know there'll be people that like different parts of the ball game and stuff like that, but I think it's hard to overlook him for raw athleticism.
Certainly best offensive player in the league.
Yeah, without a doubt. That was open and closed. Bijan Robinson, offensive player of the year.
I just love the fact that we've just nonchalantly said, yeah, Bijan obviously listens to the show, and he heard Liam say that and was like, do you know what it is, lads? These four boys from the UK, they're onto something. They're onto something. Yeah, I need to up my game.
Yeah. Is that Al Shaw?
Yeah, I don't think it was ever in question, though. Really, was it in terms of the season that we've had? And I think just to reiterate the point that was just made, that's what he's done with the 9-8 season. Like, imagine what he could do with
absolutely
a bit more help and some more competent O-line play, because I know we had a few injuries on there, but it really was questionable at times this year. And you know how much I love to defend my big boys up front, but and especially yesterday. And I know we've kind of whizzed past the game yesterday, but as you all know, my phone nearly went through my TV at numerous points yesterday, just because the O-line were shocking. So Chris Lindstrom, you voted on our polls. I assume you're watching.
I think I was just going to say one point with Lindstrom. I think he started a very good season, but I think when he has got McGarry next to him, the partnership does work so well together, because they've played with each other 6 seasons now.
Yeah,
longer, 7 or 8, and I think there is times where I think we've all slagged McGarry off, probably a bit too much. But last year when they were both fit and they did perform very well, so you can imagine if Bijan's even got just him back, his yards will go up by 15-20%.
That's ultimately where McGarry's skill set is. He's a much more competent run blocker than he is in pass protection. But but you still have to have a line that can do both, and we want Bijan to go on and smash some more records next year, etc., etc. But the passing game also needs to improve too, right? And to do that, you need a line that can do both. I actually don't think Newsel had a bad season. I think I know we were all worried about it. Would I be hop skipping and jumping in next season with him? Probably not. But Jake Matthews, I've said it for weeks, and people scoffed at me. People were like, "Oh, he's Mr. Consistent." Yeah, but he's getting old, Brev, and that takes its toll on you. And that is a position that really does take its toll on the knees, on your reflexes. So I do think that I love him, and I'm sure he's watching us. I'm sure the whole team are watching right now. But
they've got nothing better to do now, have they? So it must be us.
But I'm worried about that tackle position. I think Bergeron. I think we've got a right guard there. For the next few years, I think he's very, very competent and does both quite well. So guard position, I'm not worried, but I think there are question marks heading into the off season at tackle and center.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to see McGarry back. I like with the say if he could, like I said, he's a run blocker. How much could he enhance Bijan, and how many penalties did we concede from Wilkinson this year? Like he did a decent job in what he's asked to do, Wilkinson, but just a lot of penalties, which was kind of frustrating. So I'm definitely looking forward to see if Mike McGarry can get healthy again and give that line another go. And one thing about McGarry that I did like a completely random fact for you right here, but he was born in I don't know what it is, if it's a town or village or city or what, but he was born in a place called Battleground, which I think is a great place to be born for a guy who's on the O-line. He was genuinely born to battle.
I love that quality. So cut and dry, Bijan, Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year might turn a few heads. Fair, I think, based on what I'm looking at in front of me, but interesting. So at the start of the year, our options were, as in what we all voted for pre-season. Myself and Mark went for Bates. Cal went for Watts, and Liam went for Floyd. The votes are in, and the votes say that Caden Ellis has been the Defensive Player of the Year for the Atlanta Falcons, closely followed by a tie between Watts and Jesse Bates. Weirdly, so somehow the Rookie of the Year has kind of fallen out of the lineage a little bit. I don't know how people are doing that, but I'm just working with the numbers. And Diablo got a handful of votes as well, which I think is more than fair.
Yeah, for sure.
So, go on, Mark. Who are you giving it to based on what you've just heard now? Not that it matters. You could choose anyone you want, but
I think I genuinely think the numbers really don't lie. We went on a losing streak the minute Diablo got injured.
5 on the bounce.
He was, a pickup from the Raiders. I've got a good friend, God bless him. If you meet many NFL fans who've chosen the wrong team, it's that poor guy. Because if you think you boys haven't seen anything, this dude hasn't seen like a season over 5 wins or something. And I asked him about him when we signed him, and he couldn't tell me anything. He was like, I genuinely don't know what to say. He's probably trash. And he's been indispensable this year. I mean, my heart kind of says Ellis. I think Ellis has been unbelievable. Pay that man, please. But I'm going to give it to Diablo because we lost when he wasn't there. And maybe it's a coincidence, maybe. But he was awesome in a position group that we need to improve, because I do not want JD Bertrand anywhere near Flowery Branch for the rest of eternity. Because that Like it was to the point, especially during that losing streak, where quarterbacks were just like, "Where is that guy?" Because I'm throwing it in his direction because he ain't gonna do anything. So yeah, big zero Diablo for me. Is my defensive player of the year.
Nice. We'll take that. Liam, who are you awarding yours to?
Yeah, I think I'll go for Diablo as well. Diablo or Ellis were the two main standouts, I think, on that defense. But one player I give a shout out to. He's not quite warranted enough to do the player of the year, and I'm still not really sure who he is. But that amazing stint from Sam Roberts, that 6-game stint, some mystery guy that turned up and delivered like 80 grades on PFF every week and then disappeared again on IR. Whoever you are, son, you are a player.
Fair enough. I mean, getting back just for your. Do you know what? Players creep up like that all the time, don't they? That was like when Storm Norton just like was flying last season.
Can I add a little honorary shout out as well? Because I think, and I don't think he's defensive player of the year, but I think in terms of how far he's come and some big moments that he's delivered this year after some seasons where he's just been questionable and we don't know who he is, as in we don't know who this player is. D. Alford. Like,
definitely.
Yeah.
Like especially coming down sometimes, like to add pressure to the quarterback. You know, he picked up a couple of sacks. He's picked up some really important INTs, and I loved it yesterday. It was a real like, you know, the commentators on the game were absolutely dick riding Shook all the way through the game, and they were like, and he did this like double slant play. I don't know whether you guys were watching at the time, but he did this double slant play, and the commentators were like, well, if it's working, run it again and run it again. And then the third time that they ran it later on in the game, and this, I say this on the pod all the time, guys, make adjustments. If they're doing something that is working, find a way to stop it. And to be fair to D. Alford, he read it perfectly, didn't jump, stayed in his coverage, ball came over, and it was beautiful. So I know he doesn't get a lot of flowers on this show, but I just want to show, I think he's been a bit of a bit more of a piece on the defense rather than a complete liability, which has been in the case in some years.
We were saying about him when he's either bad or really good.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Nice. My puppy behind me agrees as well. I don't know.
I really like him to play. He puts his heart into every single game. Does the Alford? It doesn't always work for him, but he's out there trying to make plays every single game.
Yeah, absolutely. Cal, who are you giving yours to?
I'm gonna have to give him Ellis. I think I've said it on a lot of shows. I think he's one of the standout players in every game. I think he's one of them that is such a leader throughout the team, and I think that's what was missed, obviously, with Grady moving on at the start of the season. And I still don't think he was that vocal compared to Ellis. I think Ellis just seems that guy, over 100 tackles again, just constant performing. Like what Mark said, pay him what he wants, because we cannot let that guy go. He works in this defense so much. I can see Ulbrich probably stay in. Well, I think we all hope he does. Whether he does or not, I think Ellis will work in this defense for a long time. And like what Mark said, pay him, because we can't let that guy go.
No, absolutely. He's been my boy all season, so I'm going to go Diablo as well. Mainly because of the shock factor. I think there's probably a little bit of like leniency given to him there, but we came in when we brought him in, we had no expectations. So I think performing to the level that he's performed at, and like Mark said, we went on a 5-game losing streak in his absence. Coincidence? Maybe a little bit. Maybe a couple of the games we would have lost anyway, but all it would have taken is one win out of them 5 and run playoffs. So for me, It's Diablo because it's the one that you can tangibly see the difference when he's not played. We've got MVP next, but I'm going to jump into the comments real quick.
I did have a bit of a
good evening, Benny boy. Thank you for watching.
I have something on Ellis, by the way, as well for when before.
Oh, go on.
I did look at this because I thought somebody's going to pick him. Because I thought I wanted to look. It was just all because of that play last week where he played he did that unbelievable coverage on down the field and the wide receiver. And I was just looking at what positions that we like used him in, because obviously the season before we used him in the pass rush quite a lot, didn't we? And then we've kind of gone a little bit more different with him again this season. But he lined up on D line 280 snaps, and then in the box 751, which is kind of what I expected he would. But he lined up as slot cornerback 70 times. And that shows the versatility of a man who you can put in at slot. He's a linebacker. You can just put him at slot. He lined up at boundary cornerback one snap, supposedly. I don't know what that was.
You have to get the tape up for that one, but we'll take it.
But that shows how versatile a man can be, that you can literally just chuck him in 70 times at slot cornerback and know he's going to do a job.
Yeah.
Like, the man can play everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick back to the comments. We've got one from Aidan about the backroom staff and everything, and that is next on our agenda, so I'll leave that sat there. We've got a hello from California. I bet the weather is much toastier than it is here right now. I'm sat in -4. I don't know about you. Oh, -5 now, so I don't know about you boys. And then one that I wouldn't normally deviate to just yet, but I will do. It's college football, so Mark and Liam, this one's for you two very quickly before we move on to MVP. You do watch college football, and if so, who do you all think wins the national championship?
Who do I think is going to win it versus who do I
want to win it?
I don't want anyone to win it anymore. But I think Indiana are going to be the hot favourites after the destruction of Alabama and the way that they played all season.
Yeah.
But I've got a sneaky feeling, very sneaky, that Miami might do it.
Okay. Nice.
They're the outsider, but I've just got a weird feeling about them.
Yeah. Mark, you don't seem quite sold.
It's not that I'm not sold. I think I think it's great for college football that it's some different teams in the mix, if I'm honest. And I think it's been a really strange college football season in the way that there's just some teams that have predominantly been, the big guys up until now, and it hasn't really felt that way this season. I'm probably gonna go the opposite to Liam, which isn't a shock, but I think Indiana probably will take it. But I understand that. I understand Liam's hunch. I think it'll be a great game, but my gut feeling is Indiana.
Yeah,
Nice. Okay, I'll take that.
I'm not going to rule out Oregon or Ole Miss. I'm not going to rule out anybody, but I do think that Indiana are the hot favourites. But I'm going to say that my sneaky feeling is Miami. I reckon they're probably the maybe third favourite out of the four left. But that's what I'm just going to go with them. I'm going to stick with it.
Nice.
Miami to sneak it.
The questioner, fly like Peter Pan, no idea, great name, stunning, is also on the Miami train, so he's with you on that one. Right, MVP. I feel like this might be short and sweet, and then we move on to the fun stuff. Any word against Bijan Robinson?
No.
No.
What am I?
For being honest, I think you could say like Ellis is up there, obviously Diablo, but let's be honest, Bijan's smashed record this year. He's literally brick walls. I don't think you couldn't really ask him to do much more on like what Martin with an average O-line. You can just imagine what he's going to do in the future with a even better defensive line. For me, it's definitely Bijan.
Stunning. Any honourable mentions? Because I feel like we probably are going to give it to Bijan.
Go on.
I just shouted Cal Pitts. That was it.
There we go. Does that mean you're franchise tagging him, mate?
Franchise tagging him.
I've seen an amazing thing on Kyle Pitts earlier on. So he's played five seasons. In his first season, he got 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
In season 2, he got 2 touchdowns. In season 3, he got 3. Season 4, he got 4. How many did he get this year, boys?
He got 5.
He got 5, mate. Do you know what? Kyle Pitts is going to absolutely go off in 2037.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think Kyle Pitts does warrant an honourable mention. I think that as the season went on, and it's mad that I'm going to say this out loud, as the season went on, they figured out more how to use him. He's been here for 5 years. Like, guys, it's not, the more you use him as a receiver, the more touchdowns he's going to get. Like, this isn't difficult. And that could send me into an absolute rage spiral of how stupid this team has been coached up until now. But I do think that he's worth an honourable mention. Probably not in the MVP conversation, but I am going to bring it up again. Rook and Dawless have been, and I'm bringing it up not because they've been, out of this world or whatever. Like, I think as a the middle 2 linemen in a defensive line, they're not going to get all the headlines. But Dawless was a healthy scratch all season last season.
Yeah.
The Rook pick was heavily scrutinized. There's better players out there. Why did we trade up for this guy? Those two now have a partnership that we have for the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah. And I wanted to shout that out because everybody at the beginning of the season was like, we don't know who Rook is. We don't know what he is. We've just got rid of Grady. I think probably people had given up on Dawless because he'd been a healthy scratch. That what they've coached those two into, and I give Ulbrich his flowers for this because Jimmy Lake didn't use Dawless. But what they've transformed those two boys into is a nasty front, and it will not get any headlines and it will not be spoken about. And you know how much I love O-line and D-line, and I think it is phenomenal, the two players that they are becoming, both in their second year, and they're only going to get bigger and better, which for us is, for me is wonderful news. And it won't be talked about enough, so I'm going to be the one that flies the flag.
I like it. It's very fair that, like you said, these players are the ones that have been questioned. Last year, didn't see, especially Root, didn't see too much of him, if at all, a couple of snaps here and there. And then this year, it's almost a compliment that we've not had to speak about him that much, because it means he's doing his job, because we'd criticize him if he wasn't doing his job. So the fact that he's just kind of gone under the radar means he's doing exactly what we need of him. But yeah, no, I think that's a fair shout. On to the fun stuff. Just to keep everyone in the comments happy, we are going to be discussing free agents pretty soon. But before that, we've got a really fun topic to talk about. So this morning, well, technically last night, but this morning, Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot were dismissed. And later today, Rich McKay was also dismissed or replaced, however you want to phrase it.
Moved.
What are we looking forward to next season, boys? Who do we want to bring in both positions? How are we feeling about the presidency, switch around and everything like that? What's the game plan? Liam, start us off.
Obviously, we're trying to... We're looking, 4 more years. I'm trying to... I think the obviously the names are a little bit difficult to judge at this point because we've got to see
Yeah.
who's available, what sort of shifts around. There's obviously a few names that are already being linked with various different roles. Some obviously previously fired head coaches that are starting to come out, and then coordinators that are out there, which are hot prospects and stuff. I think it'd be interesting to see this time whether we go with the more dynamic hot prospect type, your exciting offensive coordinator type of pick versus your safe Raheem Morris style pick. That'll be. I just don't know whether the fans would sort of take to another sort of safe option. Like, you're not saying the safe option is like wrong, because it might not be, but is this our time to just go out and take a bit of a punt on somebody? It might not work, but there's obviously Kubiak is obviously a name that's come up, and we're supposed to be interviewing him. He will be the exact type of player that I'm sort of talking about, with the obviously not got the experience, but built an offense upon a team that didn't really expect to have an offense of that caliber this season, but has also only really done it for one season. I think he was at the States, wasn't he, when they were pretty good on offense a couple of years ago. He was their offensive coordinator as well, so he has got maybe 2 years of quality shown, but it's not a lot really, is it? If you think there's no head coach experience, so will we go with that type of player, that type of coach? I'd say I'd like to see it. It's worked for some teams. Jags and obviously stuff like that are a prime example where it's worked. Sometimes it doesn't work. So it's a risk, but I'd like to see us take that risk this time. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least we did something different. I just don't want. I said this morning on the chat, didn't I? I don't want another people best friend. I've got a lot of taglines person that has no actual sense about how to coach a football team and drill a football team to actually performing. Like, I just don't want another brotherhood and all this stuff. Whatever Raheem was saying after the game.
Find a way.
That's the one. I don't want any more of that. I just want somebody who knows how to coach a football team, and it doesn't. You don't have to be the nicest guy in the world, the most likely. There's coaches out there that I look at and think, I don't like you at all. Like Sean Payton's obviously a prime example of it. Like, nobody really likes him.
Yeah.
I don't think his own mother likes him, but he can coach a football team, and I wouldn't mind a coach like that who maybe isn't the most team-friendly person you could ever get, but if they know how to get wins, I want to see some wins.
I'm inclined to agree with Liam. I think Raheem Morris was, as we said at the time, so this isn't coming off the back of what we've witnessed for a few seasons, but it was a very underwhelming appointment. He felt safe, it felt steady. Our ceiling wasn't really raised with his appointment. I don't think. It kind of just felt like let's see if we can scrape our way through this. So I'm all going for a gamble at this point. I don't think it can get much worse. I know it can get worse, but it's worth a punt. Mark, I know it's early. Are you leaning towards anyone or a type of pick?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't think any of us disagree with the fact that we want an offensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
I think ideal scenario would be that Ulbrich stays on as DC and continues to grow this defense. I think he's, if he continues to grow and nurture this defense, I would probably say we've got him for one more year, and then he'll probably get his own gig. As well he should. I just think that this defense would continue to prosper under another year of his tutelage. And if you get an offensive-minded head coach, nobody really cares who your OC is. To be honest with you, like it's certainly at the point of appointment, I think that's what we knew we were getting with Raheem. He was never going to be play caller or a play caller. He was going to be the kind of, the guy that sits in the middle. And he very much was. And I'm just kind of, I'm ready for it now. This team has pieces. I still think there's a question mark over quarterback. So it would be interesting to see what a new head coach's point of view would be for that if Michael Penix is not going to make game one next year, because that gives us another issue. But I don't think it's an issue that can't be solved. And I know I keep talking about him, but guys, Sam Darnold got the 1 seed in the NFC. So let's just remember, these things can happen with the right scheme. And I don't think this is a blow up year. I don't think this is a bad place for any prospective head coach to come. My preference is that it's an experienced head coach. So I know people are talking about Kubiak and some other names that have been touted. I don't want another experiment. I want somebody that knows what they are doing, that has done it before. Now that does shorten, that does decrease the pool somewhat. And I totally take that on board. I think as the playoffs go on, and as this week goes on, you are going to see head coach casualties. I think John Harbaugh is going to get fired. I think potentially Matt LaFleur is going to get fired. And people will go, oh yeah, but if we go get Matt LaFleur, he's never done very much in Green Bay in the postseason. Well, he's 3-5 in the postseason, and we just want to get to the postseason. So let's just remind ourselves a little bit that we're going on a journey with this next coaching setup. And for me, the ideal situation would be Matt LaFleur and with a DC in Jeff Ulbrich.
Nice. I'll take that. So as it stands, and within the last 30 minutes, earlier in the day, we'd already booked in interviews with Kubiak and Weaver. Weaver from the Dolphins, but defensive coordinator.
Believe that one little bit.
Yeah. But from top tier source, so here it is. Since we've been live, we've just booked in a interview with Stefanski, which was going to be one of the names touted. Coach of the season, 2 years, not a great showing with the Browns overall, but when you look at it, he's gone 11-5, 8-9, 7-10, 11-6.
I mean, Danny, it was. I mean, listen, I would not be disappointed in any way, shape, or form if we went and got Kevin Stefanski. Yeah. The guy had to put up with the Deshaun Watson debacle, so he had no draft capital to work with. He had a quarterback that was on more registers than one could count. And then who's he got? Suddenly he's got 15 quarterbacks in the room. All of them are not great. Arguably one of his best seasons was with Joe Flacco. And the guy was coach of the year twice. I'm just, if anybody is turning their nose up from in the Atlanta Falcons fan base at the prospect of getting Kevin Stefanski, who has been a head coach in this league for 5 years under really difficult circumstances and still managed to win coach of the year twice, then you need help. Serious help. So if that is true, I mean, I'd be surprised if we're genuinely starting to book in interviews this early, because I'm pretty sure Blank said that we were going to be doing this new president of football before, but maybe they're just getting things booked in. So I don't think, I'd just be surprised.
I'm leaning towards agreeing with Liam, though, thinking that this person is already in place and they're just going through the formality of it, potentially. I'm not really a gambling man.
Which
But go on.
ironically would point to, and I think we were all probably of the same opinion, right? Or at least like maybe not the same opinion, but like either like Terry was going to survive and Raheem wasn't, or Raheem was going to survive and Terry wasn't, and so somehow this kind of like little win streak that they put together was gonna mean something, and it was like literally a couple hours after the game, boom, gone. Like Blank is not messing around, and I genuinely thought he would do what he did with Stan Quinn, and he's obviously learning a lesson there.
Yeah. You got to hold your hands up to that.
Yeah, and if
we criticised for weeks saying he wouldn't have the cojones to do it.
And if that is true, then he made this decision weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, because these haven't been booked in today with no prior knowledge of who's going to become available.
Well,
like this thinking gone into that.
Yeah. They could have it. I mean, he said this sportology or whatever they call that have come in to do this big review. Have staying on for the entirety of this recruitment process as well.
Yeah,
so I have a feeling like he's hired these guys, like whoever the sportology is. Obviously, there'll be people in there that are in the know of football. We won't know who they are, but they clearly know
some consultancy company.
Yeah, like there might be another this president, whatever it might be, already involved in somehow. I feel like this, along with this sportology and stuff, has been going on for weeks. I reckon they've been shortlisting people for weeks.
Yeah,
who, if they come available, they'll go for them and getting ideas together. And then now they're starting to see who could become available or who might be touted for a job. I think they've now started that process.
And I think it's worth saying at this point, and I know like I understand my preferences, LaFleur, right? But if there is ever a good time to just go full steam ahead before more head coaches get fired and go and get Stefanski, go get him now.
Yeah. Get it
wrapped
up early,
like,
before other teams start thinking and pondering.
Because Kubiak's a great example, right? He might not interview now until after, but till after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They've said that they can do it this week because he's on a bye week from the playoffs. You're allowed to interview them during the bye week.
Right.
So they have to do it this week.
But we can, but will he?
Well, I don't know if he will. Yeah, we're allowed to do it. We're allowed to approach him and talk to him because of the bye week. If he was in the playoff this week in a wild card, you're not allowed to do it. But
I think my worry is you do the first interview this week. Well, then you're going to shortlist or whatever.
Yeah.
How long is this going to drag on? Like, and that's where my kind of brain would then go to, go get Stefanski now. And I like I say, I would. Stefanski would be my second choice at the minute in a long list, but like go and get him before anybody else can. Sell this dream now.
So, I'm not a betting man, but I will drop you the bookies' favourites as it stands. Of course, this is very, very subject to change because of all the jobs that are going to open up over the next few weeks in the build-up to the Super Bowl. The favourite at the moment in time is Matt LaFleur. So that's a little bit of positivity for you there, Mark.
It's a really interesting one with that. He might not, because if they win a playoff game, surely.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
exactly. But they are broken. They are, like, Parsons is out, like Love's only just back.
Then again, is that his? It's like
it's not his
if
fault.
they lose the playoff game, it's like, well, they had no players.
Yeah, no, exactly. The second favourite is Mike LaFleur.
Well, yeah.
Which is fair enough. I mean, offensive coordinator at the moment in time.
We have a history of hiring guys for the Rams who are really good, right?
Yeah. That's done us loads of good. Stefanski is third favourite at the moment in time.
Okay.
Fourth favourite is Jesse Minter.
Okay.
which may be based on availability at the moment in time, I assume. Defensively minded, though, not quite as sold on it. Like we've said, I'm all if should Ulbrich stay, I don't think we need another defensive mind as the primary. And Kubiak is fifth favourite at the moment in time. So that's our top five as it stands. Even in the absence, and that's including the interviews we've booked in, people are still favourites above them, which is odd. But the figures aren't just completely made up, are they? So there is some method in the madness.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that'll be a good little roller coaster for us for the rest of the week.
Yeah. I'm with you, Mark. I hope this is wrapped up in the next 2 weeks. I'm not unless they think they can get somebody that's going to drop out of playoff spots, and they think that somebody's going to open up that they really, really want. Then I'd get it done now before other teams start going. Because
do you not think with the Packers playing this weekend, and then if they get knocked out, you might be waiting for the blow? Is that?
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, Cal, they're obviously not waiting. My kind of gut feeling was they're they're going to tie up whoever this president of football is first. If we go along with that assumption that actually they've probably already tied it up and they just want to cast their net, then yeah, but I mean. Guys, it's been a mad season. Wouldn't that just be the season that actually the Packers go, with a beaten up, second string, and still manage to do it. I mean, I think the Packers have been okay this season, but injuries just do happen. You can't get away from it, and now that we've had this conversation, there's part of me that's just throw it at Stefanski, because because you wait, he gets tempted by somebody else. Green Bay somehow managed to pull it out of the bag, and then you're left with the dregs again.
Yeah, I think something to go on, Cal. Sorry,
I was going to say I'm definitely with Mark with the. I think I get Liam's point with the offensive. Offensive coach has got to be that's 100%, and I get the excitement of getting someone who's quite new into it, who's had a year or two. But I think the last couple of coaches above Raheem, he was a head coach before, but his record was shocking. Let's be honest. So I think we do need someone with that head coach experience for a few years to even steady the ship. It is a brand new start. I think this is more. This is so I know we'll do it every 2-3 years. It's a new start. But this is, with McKay going, and that's how he's going as well. This is a brand new start for the franchise, completely from top to bottom, which makes it a lot more exciting. And I don't know if it's. I do agree. I would go for what Mark said straight away, just to get him in. I think he's obviously won Coach of the Year for a reason. He was an absolute abysmal team with 15 quarterbacks, like Matt said. But did we rush it last time too quick when we got Raheem in? Is that, or do we take our time this time? Because
we shot ourselves in the foot last time because we went for the same
there's a few more options this time. But are we what people we've all said? We're relying on Ravens getting rid of their head coach. The Packers falling out of players this weekend. If they get past this round, it's then why would you then fire the guy? Mm-hmm. So it's either you go for the guy right now this week, or you do wait and take notes.
From the Green Bay fans that I've spoken to, I would be really surprised if LaFleur doesn't get fired, because I think the only way he doesn't is if they make the Super Bowl. Okay. That's and I that might be harsh, but I think they've done they've kind of done everything that like how LaFleur wanted it. You know, they got rid of Rodgers. They brought the young QB, and I mean, you would argue that Love's wide receiver room has always been very mediocre.
Yeah.
I think they were lucky to pick up Jacobs when they did. So I think the recruitment there, I think we have, I genuinely think we have more pieces than the Packers. I really, really do. So I think LaFleur could do something with what we have. The big question for me next year on our team, for whoever takes over, is still quarterback. So
without
and if you've got someone like Stefanski who's even managed to win games with Shedeur Sanders, who is one of my
fraud watch
nemesis. So yeah, I just if there's the opportunity to do it early. Go now. Just sell the dream. Like Ben Johnson last year, who everyone was screaming for, was like, he was sold on the Bears. He was sold on Caleb. So go sell this to Stefanski now. Feels like the smartest thing to do.
A few more name shouts in the comments. Yeah.
If there is anybody that says Bill Belichick, I want these people banned.
No, we got a nice little Les Snead and a Howie Roseman shouts.
Like, who's coach should either be Mike McCarthy or Kevin Stefanski?
Howie Roseman.
Why are we
from the Eagles?
I don't think.
I'm not even playing.
I presume he's talking about GMs. He's not asking him to go down the route of
he's saying GM. I
was going to say that'd be a strange head coach hire. GM.
I mean, GM. I'm a little less bothered at the moment.
What incentive?
I think.
Why would you the thing with GM, right? And I think this makes this conversation really, really easy. You're not going to get an ex-GM because ex-GMs are ex-GMs for a reason, right?
Yeah.
I want to, I was listening to, and I never regurgitate information and try and pass it off as my own. Listening to Aaron Freeman earlier on around this topic, a friend of ours from Locked On Falcons, and I didn't agree with actually him as much as I usually do, but he said something that I thought was really, really poignant. Thomas Dimitrioff has never got another job. Like there are so many rare occurrences where GMs then kind of get fired and then take another GM role. So I think that decision is more important for this president of football, whereas because we know that like Raheem was Terry's guy. Like I think we were all fairly sold on that. Like that was very clear. They were bros, and the pictures were great, but unfortunately it just never materialized, et cetera, right? And I'm still kind of like, could have given Terry one more year. Like, I didn't maybe hate on his development as a GM as I have done in maybe times gone by, but the GM kind of candidate, it could be anybody. Like when we hired Terry, everyone was up in arms because he used to be on the Saints. And he did not draft like the Saints draft. So GMs are, it's down to the person that they are and their experience, and they tend to be executives from other teams who've done stuff with it. So like I wouldn't be looking at any sort of these candidate names and going, oh well, he should be our next GM, because we have no idea. Like let's be real. I remember before we hired Terry, people were saying like go get Hassan Reddick, who essentially was just like a pundit. No, it wasn't Hassan Reddick. It was Hassan Reddick was a player. I can't remember his name. It was somebody Reddick. Anyway, so I don't think we should worry too much about like the next GM appointment. Like that's front office stuff. Like, and if you're going to hire a GM who's reporting to a football guy, then great. It's who that football guy is. P.S. And I'm going to say it now. I hope it's not Matt Ryan. It's not that I don't like Matt Ryan. I love Matt Ryan. I will always love Matt Ryan. But he hasn't been a head coach and he hasn't been a GM. So why on earth would you put somebody in a role like that who is going to essentially have those guys report into him? He's an ex-quarterback. He's a TV guy.
Yeah. What has been reported today, to be fair, is that Matt Ryan still wants to keep his role with CBS. So I think him being in that position wouldn't logistically make sense at all. So for me, it would be more like we've discussed in our chat, a consultancy basis sort of thing in terms of, are we taking the right route? Is this what the franchise should be doing? But ultimately, I don't think he'll dictate very much. He'll more just be like, whoa, from a footballing side, what are you making the right choice there? And that I'm more than happy with. Like,
I think that's what they've probably. Well, I think that's what they've offered him. I generally think. I think it's just rumours about that him being our top football guy. I think it's just like, to be part of the new setup is what we need. Is a guy who knows the franchise inside out. He's a guy that every Falcon fan absolutely adores. So I think it's obviously a great signing to get him in.
It's the respect side of it, isn't it, from the wider footballing world in terms of, I get it, they're putting real footballing people into the organisation again instead of businessmen and bankers.
And we said it in the group chat, right? Like, Matt working in TV, he is going to be around, NFL execs. He's going to be around team execs. It's not as if he isn't well known. Like, unfortunately, Matt's career, I still think he's going to end up a Hall of Famer and, kind of one of these great QBs that didn't get a ring. And that's why I hope that his consultancy is, there's a GM candidate here, GM candidate here, GM candidate here. Let's talk about head coaches. Right. Okay. Matt knows them too, and that's the kind of information it needs to feed the decision making. It should not be Matt. And listen, I'm all for romance. I love romance, but I cannot watch this franchise make any more emotional decisions.
Yeah. Which is exactly what Raheem felt like.
Exactly.
Oh, he's been here before. He knows how we work. Like,
he knows
let's play the safe card.
Yeah.
One thing that we've not considered with the head coaches is who else has slots open now, so who we'll be in competition with. As it stands, the Giants, Titans, Cardinals, Browns, and Raiders are all open. No bias. I think we're the most attractive team there.
1,000%. That is middle aisle in Aldi.
It is
awful.
That's bargain bucket teams, isn't it?
What head coach is looking at those going, oh, well, if I went to the Raiders, I would only be a few pieces away. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, O-line, D-line, cornerback,
Browns,
safety, linebacker. Like, who's going to want to go to Cleveland and work with Shadua? Like, come on. Like, don't be surprised if his dad ends up the head coach there, because that's the only way that he's going to continue to be a starting quarterback.
Cardinals, pretty similar. I mean, they do have a quarterback, but it's obviously, I feel like the Cardinals might be done with Murray now.
I agree.
The Titans are busted as well.
At least they've not got much. They've got a quarterback they can build around there.
They've got a quarterback.
Not much
and the Giants, a semi-sellable. But they're injury-stricken this year. But even so, I think we're the top pick there. The issue being other teams are going to fire the coaches throughout the playoffs and things like that. So hence the urgency and the need to move quickly. There is one that the Titans are looking at. Oh, come on, Mark, sorry.
I don't think there's going to be that many. I still think the Ravens could. and I think the Ravens is a
Very sellable.
super attractive
Yeah.
job.
Did we say the Jets did or not? They've not fired.
Jets
anyone,
haven't yet. No.
They would be an attractive prospect in the fact that they have about 9,000 picks. But
Yeah.
Someone I did want to mention, the Titans have just booked in an interview with a certain somebody. Somebody we should look.
No, Morris.
No, but the right ballpark.
I thought you were on the wind up. Sorry, go on.
No. Well, I'm not on the wind up. Somebody we should consider maybe. He used to be a defensive coordinator. Raheem Morris.
The second
interview for the Titans head coaching role.
Wow.
Good Lord.
What have they been watching?
You're welcome. I just thought I'd share that nugget of information. That's only come out in the last 15 minutes.
Well,
so.
I think.
Yeah.
I think I will say one thing, right? And I think the outcome for us of this season isn't what we wanted, and it is, to be in the position that we're in now, I think is the best for the franchise moving forward. However, and this is going to be controversial, gentlemen, right?
Okay.
But we have talked all season, and we ascertained yesterday that one unmissed kick, and we're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Raheem ain't getting fired.
No.
And
narrative changes entirely, doesn't it?
And I also think that we could have gone into that playoffs. We beat the Rams, we beat the Bills. Playoffs is unpredictable. Wouldn't it be the most Atlanta thing ever after the season that we've had, lost against the 3-13 Jets, to then go? I'm not saying we would have got to the championship game, but would we have? Could we have? I'm just saying that and I've said it a few times in the group chat. Fine margins. We are talking about such fine margins that I think Raheem isn't as poisonous, untouchable to another team as we may think, because if you take it to Zach Robinson, then Cam Ward's finished, right? But it's I'm not going to besmirch the man. I realize that he wasn't what we needed, and I love him for the person that he is, even though there was a picture of him cuddling Cam Jordan, and that is a big no-no in my book. But would it be awful for the Titans? Because I'm sorry, guys, who else the Titans going to get?
Yeah,
I hope it's not. You
hire based on your status, don't you? Like, you hire based on what you think you can achieve. They just need to get a few more wins on the board first. They aren't talking about playoffs and stuff yet, are they? They're talking about having like a serviceable season where they actually compete against some teams, because they've been blown out of the water so often this year. Often. So maybe they do need a defensive-minded head coach, and maybe he does a job. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that one with you. Thought it was funny.
I was going to say, I was going to shout out. So can I shout out Koo for being a legend and not getting us to the playoff and getting Raheem start?
You can.
Say that one. Thank you. Cheers, Koo.
Cheers, Koo. Big respect.
I mean, further kudos. You'll never get another job, but Parker Romo, big up. Let's wheel out all of the players. JD Bertrand, come on down. Pick up your flowers. It's interesting.
Nice. We'll leave the coaching segment there for now then, because there's a lot of moving parts at the moment in time. If anybody else is booked in for an interview before we call it a day, I will name drop that. let's move on to a few of the technicalities that whoever this hypothetical head coach has to deal with. We won't spend too long because we've touched them before. Well, Kyle Pitts, Tyler Algier, Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix. What are we doing, boys? We need to set the world to rights. If you're the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons that comes in the next couple of weeks or month, what are you doing at quarterback? What are you doing at tight end? What are you doing at running back?
Pitts, Algier.
Pitts, Algier, Cousins / Penix in terms of how you handle the quarterback situation.
Algier's gone.
Go on, Cal.
Algier's gone. 100%.
Probably.
Deserves a shot at being number one somewhere.
Yeah.
I think, do we get a pick off? Can we get a pick off that still? Is that how it works? I don't know.
It'll be a compensatory pick unless you trade him now.
Yeah. Well, he's better than nothing, and I think he is good enough to be running back one in the league, and I think he will do. Pitts is franchise tagged for me, especially with the season he's had. He's ups and downs, but the last 7-8 games he's improved a lot.
Yeah.
I think with the new GM coming in and the new head coach, I do think Kirk will go because we do need that extra cap space we can add to the team. We can get a Penix in. We don't know until probably another 2 months. Then they'll probably have a guideline of how long it'll be. Maybe. I do think we'll get another quarterback in, not an expensive one. Like obviously not cheap either, but it's not going to be. I think there's some of the names that will be like the guy at Green Bay, Malik.
Yeah, Mr. Willis.
Yeah, Mr. Willis. Mac Jones has been mentioned a few times because at the 49ers he did a job when that he was out. So I think they're the 2 at the moment. So if you just take upon Flacco and just have half a season of absolutely crazy ass quarterback play, and it'd be fun. But yeah, obviously it depends on which head coach comes in. But I think for me I think most of us would probably agree with the franchise tag on Pitts, and Algier probably not be there either.
Yeah, I'm probably agree. I love Tyler, but I think he's earned that right for a number one spot somewhere. I'd be very shocked if he doesn't get 3, 4, 5 offers from teams around the league. If we could keep him, I'd keep him without even thinking about it. But I don't think it's feasible, unfortunately. But when you have Bijan, it's hard for the running back too because limited snaps and obviously your influence in the team is a lot less. So I think we could probably pick someone up that'll do the job, pretty cheap and just take those extra snaps and drives here and there. To be honest with you, and I'm saying with Pitts, I'm at the minute franchise tag, but that really does depend on who comes in and how they envisage the team. But I think after the season he's had, it's worth a gamble, and we can't really offer him a contract just yet because we're skint. So, Liam, what are you leaning towards?
Yeah, I think we're going to be franchise tagging Pitts. I think I'd be very surprised if Kirk Cousins stays. I think a new person comes in and looks at that and goes, "That's not for me." Like I just can't. Like I think the only way he was staying was in that current setup.
Yeah.
I do think they'll get rid now. Algier, I don't think there's a way we keep him really. I don't think we can offer him a deal that and offering the playing time that he would probably warrant at his age. Now he's probably ready to take his next step into being a running back one. He just knows that's it's never going to happen in this team while we have Bijan. So it just doesn't make sense to do anything else with him really, other than let him go and give him a shot somewhere. Running backs, luckily, especially with second running backs, and you can get them in various different places. You can get them cheap on the free agent market. You can draft guys in middle rounds. Yeah. Like there's options out there in that position that I would not be too like. Algier's been great for us, but I wouldn't be too worried about losing him.
Yeah,
I do think you could even go out and get 2 running backs and have 3-pronged attacks where you've got a power guy and another speed guy, and then Bijan doing up most of the work again. And there's all different ways you can manage that. I think the quarterback situation obviously will be, completely is around what Penix his health is like. I feel like definitely the aim will be to go into the season with him.
Yeah.
If we need to get somebody else in, we'd have to get somebody who's willing to take average money on a short term deal, because we don't want to be going out and paying like a guy for 3 years, knowing that technically the aim is like to play him for 4 games or 5 games. Have to get somebody who's basically older, who's willing just to put in a bit of a shift, or we get somebody who just doesn't have a team and will take whatever they can get, sort of thing. Like, and that's going to be sort of like your lower down quarterbacks who probably just don't, who nobody's willing to give a long term backup contract to.
Yeah,
and that it just depends how many games we're talking about. Like, if it's technically like 1-2 games, you can pay somebody for a year, and it doesn't kind of matter really. Even if we lose both games, it's still recoverable. But if we're talking like 4, 5, 6 games missing, we're going to have to fork out some more money to get somebody who has to be good enough to win us at least some of those games. Otherwise, we're already behind, and you can't afford that.
Yeah. And with that, Mark, any additions?
No, I think we're in a bit of a strange spot next year, and I've mentioned quarterback a few times, and there's a reason that I have. Because the reoccurring injury with Penix already in his Atlanta Falcons tenure spells bad news for me, if I'm honest. Now, 2027 draft class looks quite QB rich.
Yeah.
So is it a case, as Liam just said, of getting somebody serviceable to come in, do a job? I think that, to me, probably makes the most sense. I think the issue that you've got, that I would have, is you're gonna, and I would have to look at the cap hit, right? So because I'm not 100% sure on it right now. How much cap are we going to save by cutting Kirk to then spend the remainder of that saving on another quarterback? Like, does it add up? That's the big question for me. Now, I think certain stories out there, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, and I maybe scoffed at it a little bit too early a couple of weeks ago, but Malik Willis, maybe.
Just
if Matt LaFleur's the coach.
Yeah, to add some context to your decision making, in case it helps, the Falcons saved $27.5 million in cap space in 2026, and the dead cap hit is $12.5 million. So, I mean, it's a decent chunk of money.
So we get hit off the cap $12 million by cutting Kirk, and you save 24. Maybe this is the Trey Lance redemption arc. Who knows? There's probably some other names I can come up with, but I think it's gonna be hinging on or maybe a Kenny Pickett. I don't know. But that next head coach is going to have to know that next year is a pivotal year, and I think we kind of almost need to suck it and see next season. I think a Trey Lance or or somebody of that ilk that has an opportunity to just come. Mac Jones. I can't believe I'm saying it out loud, but just somebody who can be a serviceable guy, because there's the potential that Penix, might just be another injury waiting to happen. and that is a great change because I'm not out on him. I'm not saying that, but I think the question marks about long-term future is really there at the moment for me.
Yeah.
If you're going to make all these organizational changes, you need to know what you're doing with your quarterback plan.
Yeah. To move on to our final little bits, just a run through of our confirmed opponents for next season. Just to, obviously, I'm not going to ask for your wins and losses because that's a ridiculous concept before everything's happened. However,
70
at home, let's go. At home, we have the Panthers, the Saints, the Bucks, the Bears, the Lions, the Ravens, the Bengals, the 49ers, and the Chiefs. Which on paper...
Which one we playing in Germany?
Probably the Bucks by the sounds of it.
Because
they're going over apparently too.
Nice.
So that's pretty damn hard. If you look at, I know the Chiefs have been down this season, but the Chiefs, 49ers, Bengals, Ravens, Lions, and Bears, they're all on paper tough opponents this season. But obviously everything changes.
That could all change. Yeah.
It could. Away from home, of course, the Panthers, the Saints, the Bucks, the Packers, the Vikings, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Commanders, which actually is a little bit nicer than those home games on paper.
Yeah, but there's
also
not a lot of
and they're also the teams that are going to have higher draft picks and things like that as well. So it's like you're coming into a team under rebuild. I know that was a lot of names, but basically, comparatively to this season, the run-in is much harder on paper. Not that it ever tends to matter.
No, on paper, and that's why we love the sport, right? Because there could be 50% of those teams that just bomb out. Like it's and like you, for example, you said the Chiefs, and then like I kind of twitched, and then I was like, no, but Mahomes has only got one leg. Like, it's not as some of it might not be as dramatic as maybe on first listening it is. So, but you can only play the teams in front of you, right? So
that's what we're going to do, and we're going to win out. If you start the season at week 14, we are the 4-0 Falcons, so people can say what they think about us. We're going into a new season 4-0. That's what I heard. I think that's pretty much it for that. Just a little confirmation. Our first selection in the draft is the 47th pick.
That's so good. I don't have to stay up.
I know. I know. It's stunning, isn't it?
I guarantee we'll just come back into the first round and we'll all miss it.
We've not really got much capital to trade up into the first round with. We'd have one draft pick. But yeah, so it's not going to be an early pick. When we do start all those mock drafts over the coming weeks and months, don't think it's going to be quite as juicy as it's been historically. But giving the Rams a 13th pick for me is not a bad trade-off for what we got this year. So for me, I think we won the deal in terms of the benefits to us. Of course, they'll be over the moon with the 13th pick. But
yeah, sure.
We got
what we depends on who the 13th pick is. That the only people you can only decide who wins the draft after you know how good the 13th pick is.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could be the best player they've ever had, or it could be an absolute bust.
Yeah.
It's
we won't even delve into that world until we know who our head coach is and the GM is and what we're looking like. So,
and listen, I can, you can do all these sort of draft projections and all that sort of stuff, right? And obviously, me and Liam do watch college football, and it's there's loads of players that coming into the draft were like, oh yeah, they're going to be great, first rounders and all that sort of stuff. And they can just, before you know it, they're just another guy on their 14th team, just backups or, way down the depth chart. And That's again the joy of it is you also get 7th rounders who become Brock Purdy or become Tom Brady. You know, it doesn't always mean everything just to be in that first round, and and that's how we have to think about it because we ain't in the first round. So it is what it is. But we did get a 10.5 sack guy for that sacrifice, and I am not unhappy about it. So I hope the Rams enjoy that 13th pick, and I hope that they shatter their legs in week 1. But no, I'm joking. That's a horrible thing to say. But it's we have to put it in the back of our minds. And by the way, 47th in the second, that's minging. But
that's where we are.
This is where a new GM has to go to work, right? So you can still pick up, you know, if we think about Xavier Watts, who we picked up in the 3rd round this year, you know, a couple of them, and all of a sudden that draft without a first rounder doesn't look so bad. Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much it. The odds are on us getting a 9-8 season next year because we had 3 seasons of 7-10 on the bounce. We've had 2 seasons of 8 and 9 on the bounce, so 1 season of 9 and 8 seems like the perfect pyramid. Before I let you all go for however long we decide to come back for, I just want to really quickly ask you who's going to win the wildcard games. The first one being the Panthers and the Rams.
Ooh.
Didn't the Panthers recently beat them? Am I wrong for that?
The Rams have been shaky for like 4 weeks now. Since
I still think the
like
Rams.
Certs, but
I think the Rams. Yeah, the Rams will still win that.
I think they'll blow them out. I think the Panthers are going to get shown up, unfortunately for them. I just don't think our division tallies up to anyone else.
No, I agree. I think Rams is a banker there.
Yeah, and I think the fact that the Panthers are hosting is an absolute liberty, but I know that's the rules. So
I do say this is the hardest year to pick who's going to be in the Super Bowl. Like many.
It is, yeah. Sure.
When you take a prime KC out of the mix, it really changes the narrative, doesn't it? Because anytime they got to the playoffs, you're like, oh, it's probably going to be them. And then obviously the Eagles picked it last year, but they were always the second they hit the playoffs, everyone was like, KC. And this year,
so we're all collective on the Rams.
Yeah. This one's a good one.
Bears, Packers. I'm going Bears.
Packers.
Yeah. I'm going with the Bears based on the Packers' injuries. I think a fully healthy Packers would be a different story, but
I would have said the Packers didn't have the injuries.
I think the Bears.
I've actually got a bet on the Packers, but I'll have to go with the Bears.
Yeah, I said it at the start of the season, the Packers for the Super Bowl. I don't think they've got that in the tank now, but I think they've got a bit of a run in them, even injury stricken.
I'm gonna go and put a cheeky bet on the Bears to win the Super Bowl.
Ooh. I mean, we've got a couple of our boys at the Bears, haven't we, from last season? So at least they'd have a ring from somewhere.
Could you imagine the fume across the Twitter sphere of Caleb Williams lifting the Lombardi with painted nails?
They would lose their minds.
It would be beautiful.
It would. I agree. I completely agree.
Jags, Bills?
Bills.
I'm going Jags.
Wow.
I'm going Jags. They've been so good.
I think the Jags have been very, very good. But
I think in the playoffs now without Mahomes, I think Josh Allen goes and performs like he has done every year, to be fair. I think
if Trevor Lawrence...
the AFC this year is ridiculous. Like, so hard to pick one team. And I don't think the Broncos are the best team in it either.
No.
I don't want the Bills to win it, but I want Josh Allen to win it, which is so annoying.
Trevor Lawrence
because we've never won it, so I don't want them to win it.
I just think I saw a video earlier that somebody put in one of the chats of Trevor Lawrence being gifted
His grills.
an iced out grill, and I just think it's going to his head. He looks cool. I love that for them. Like I love that for the sport and like the camaraderie in the team. But I think that's going straight to his little head. That
He's
Nah.
the best quarterback in the league right now, as if in the way that they're playing, he's the best. So I don't know how that's happened, but
no. I do think it's got something to do with the Colts capitulation. Like I think if they'd kept Danny Dimes fit, I think Jags would be in the wild card rather than where they are. I'm not taking anything away from them, but I've got a sneaky feeling Jags beat the Bills this weekend.
Okay, nice. 49ers Eagles.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
That's a cheeky game. That is.
I've said 49ers because I think they've just turned into a different team in the second half of the season.
I hate the Eagles. Like I hate the Saints slightly more, but Eagles by far like so close. But I'm going to say the Eagles just because it's playoff football, and I think they have.
They're just good at doing it. They're annoying.
I want the Niners to win.
Yeah, I do.
But I think the Eagles win.
Yeah, I'm same.
That game. Just purely because all season they've just found, like, ironically, Raheem, you should go over there. They've found a way. Like, I will still continue to take great delight in watching Kyle Shanahan choke in the playoffs. So,
okay.
No forgiveness. The North remembers. So yeah, Eagles for me on that one.
Couple more. We may as well do the works now we're here. Texans Steelers. I'm going Texans.
100%.
Netflix want Rodgers to go through, but I don't know about anyone else.
I'm going to go Steelers, and it's going to be a horrible game. I can guarantee that.
Very good for weeks.
But again, every time you think they're awful, they find a way, and they've just been that team all season.
Yeah.
And I think if they lose this game, Mike Tomlin could finally be fired. I really think that's a potential outcome. I've just got a sneaky feeling that Aaron Rodgers is going to snake his way through to another playoff win. I don't know why. Rodgers knows playoffs football. CJ Stroud does not.
Yeah, no, that's a very, very valid point. He doesn't look good. He just doesn't look good. He doesn't even look a fraction of the player he used to be. But like you said, they are.
There's not many teams that have looked. There's not many teams that have looked good this year, Danny. Like
no, there's not. There is not.
The Steelers haven't won a playoff game since what, 2016, 2017 or something like that.
And that's precisely the kind of stat that Rodgers could say that he changed. Like I can feel it. I can feel this is going to be an Aaron Rodgers wank fest. So like, I'm in on the Steelers on this one.
And last but certainly not least, you have the Pats and the Chargers. Hit me.
That's tough.
Patriots.
I think Patriots. Yeah. I think they're just flying at the minute.
I
like the Chargers. I really do. I like them, but I just think the Patriots are flying. And never ever seen a dynasty recover so quickly either.
Well, hold on. Like I right. Let's compartmentalize the situation here, right? That division is a bin fire once again. Right, so the Patriots have had no divisional competition, so and they were lucky against us. They've played well. I'm not taking it away from them as much as I absolutely and utterly despise them and their fan base, every single one of them. But I just think the Chargers have been they've just done enough this season. Like they've not been standout. We've never really seen Justin Herbert be full Justin Herbert. Like maybe he's in his first season, but it's just kind of like Jim Harbaugh. Okay, he sets his teams up in the same way. Like Michigan were the same when he was there, and they're just not outstanding. They're okay. So I think the Patriots take this one. And I think the Patriots are where they are this season because they took a bit of a risk, if you ask me. Like I know people say it wasn't a risk, but they took a risk on a really raw quarterback that nobody doubted his talent, but could he put it into the NFL and grow? And he has. Yeah. And that disgusts me because it's the Patriots and, I'm just going to have to deal with that. But I don't think it's like some sort of Mike Vrabel masterclass. Like, I don't think they're as amazing as their record might curtail them to be. So, that's maybe a hot take. I don't know. But, I think if you speak to most Patriots fans, they're most right-minded Patriots fans, which is a small minority, but it's it to me, they're good and they deserve to be a playoff team. I think they've got a really lucky draw here.
Nice. Yeah, I like it. We've got Tom in the comments saying, "Evening, gents. I will watch back from the start. Thought I'd say hello as we're talking playoffs. He wants to see a Jags v Rams Super Bowl. I don't personally because I really don't like the Jags.
Jags Bears would be so fun.
Jags Bears would be balanced as well. Like you want to see a Super Bowl where it's competitive.
That's a shootout. That is a that's going to be a slobber knocker if we somehow manage to see that. Like. I'd be so pumped for Jags Bears. After you guys said it right. Like I think the Rams have been a little bit past sort of 4 or 5 weeks. Like but yeah, Jags Bears. I'm putting a bet on it tomorrow.
Nice, take it. Well. That wraps us up. That is all of the games. We won't go into what happens after that because we've probably just got half of them wrong anyway. But the Atlanta Falcons season is over. We finished 8-9. I'm not saying we finished third. I'm saying we finished joint first in the division. So make of that what you please. It's been an absolute pleasure riding with you all this season. I'm sorry that we've not had more Victory Mondays to show for it, but we got through it, and it could have been worse. It could have been better, but it could have been worse. We've got a fresh start, new head coach coming in, hopefully a new OC coming in, new GM, maybe Matt Ryan on the board. There's a lot to look forward to, and in true fashion, we will be here every single step of the way. There's no more Falcons games left. So we really don't have all too much to talk about. But if we can huddle the boys together to talk about some of the playoff games as they drop, then we absolutely will do. And we'll do a nice little season roundup following the Super Bowl as well, just to kind of break down the chaos that we have witnessed this season, because it has been exactly that, chaos. Yeah. Definitely for me, as an NFL fan, this has been the weirdest season that I've watched in terms of predictability and injuries and all sorts. So, again, thank you for riding with us. Mark, do you want to sign us off for the last Falcon show of this season?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us for group therapy once again this evening. If you want to watch us back, you can watch back on all social media platforms. However, if you're like me and you like to listen to podcasts in the car, or when you're at work and you just want to stick your headphones in, then you can find us on all podcasting platforms: Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wow! a whole season, and that's how we get signed off. I love it.
Listen. I'm not. I didn't want to make a fool of myself, and I knew that I'd get that reaction from you. I've been planning on doing that all day.
I can't believe it.
However, I am buying a proper mic for next season, and you are going to get my lungs both barrels for that outro. So do not fret. I just thought that'd be funny to finish off.
It was. That was.
But
that was you threw me for 6. Ladies and gents, it has been a pleasure. We will be back to you during the playoffs at some point to talk ball. And when the Falcons have a new manager on board, coach on board, what on earth? See you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This isn't Man United, mate.
I don't want to talk about that. In fact, I'm signing off before you can carry on talking about Manchester. ATL Falcons UK signing out for the final game of the Falcons season. Catch you next time.